All right, so how to go ahead and I guess like the mental hurdles of like launching your side hustle without like this prior background, right? Is that
Yeah,
pretty it?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, you can call it imposter syndrome to some extent, but it's more or less like why shouldn't I speak to product management, which is the career path that I'm in now?
Right.
Um, but why not speak to that then speak to like a past, I guess, or maybe something that I've never done before, right? So yeah, I guess to your point, like what we were kind of discussing earlier, it's somewhat like an imposter syndrome. Like, how do you overcome that fear if you've never taught that before? So you know, kind of like putting myself in your shoes, right? Like you as Richard Chen, you started out as uh, a headhunter, a recruiter, right? But you went ahead and pivoted and transitioned yourself to a career coach, literally teaching individuals how to land cybersecurity, UX UI, business analyst, QA, HVAC now, right? So it's like you don't have any experience in HVAC. So like why should anyone trust you
Mhm.
over someone that actually has HVAC experience and that can actually teach them like the inner workings of HVAC, right? So for
Right.
me, you kind of guided me. You were there from day one, and I was there when you were a recruiter, right? We both come some ways now, and you're the one that helped me pivot over from business analyst to product management,
Right.
right? So now I'm trying to pivot over to career coaching, and I'm kind of struggling with that mental block of like, why shouldn't I just speak to product management um, as opposed to just you suggesting me that I should go ahead and career coach those people that want to break into business analyst role or those that are struggling in the analyst field.
Got it. Okay. So I guess the best way that you should look at it, I was gonna look at like, we'll set the stop for like I said, like 10 minutes max, right? Because I think
Okay.
people want to get like actual information. When you're
Yeah.
when you're thinking about it, I I always look at starting some kind of when you're selling anything online, you want to think like I you want to think like a business owner. And I think a lot of people feel that I don't want to work the 9 to 5 grind anymore. I don't like want to listen to somebody else basically give me this bullshit all day. And like, I don't want to go out there and spend my time building somebody else's dreams. I want to go out there and build my own dreams. But
Exactly.
the first hurdle that they have to get past in going there is you have to start thinking more like a business owner and not like an employee. And people actually don't realize how engineered and how wired they are to think like an employee. Um, when you're looking at business analysts, why business analysts over product management? First things first is there's a lot more business analysts than there are product managers. And the product management niche has gotten incredibly, incredibly saturated since I joined the business, like probably like 2016, 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking this, like the competition for a very small group of individuals is extremely fierce in terms of everything marketing related, such as like if you're talking about like the YouTube videos, there's like I think a higher standard than what the software engineers are putting out, at least. If you're taking a look at like the YouTube videos, right? The Instagram content, the LinkedIn content, the newsletter content, because you have the most educated group of individuals and you have a very small group of individuals. So you're another fucking Korean barbecue restaurant in Koreatown.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you have a lot more business analysts that never made the transition over to product management because they're too scared, but nobody is servicing this entire group. So
Mm-hmm.
if you take a look at it from that lens, right? Like the right now, like because of Korea's like population decline, um, they're all looking to replicate the K-pop business model into much bigger markets, like um, probably the two or three, maybe even four big markets that they're replicating the K-pop business model is number one is China. Culturally speaking, very similar, but you got easily 1.4 billion speakers, right? Mandarin speakers.
Mm-hmm.
India, obviously, that's another 1 billion market. Like, you get into the Spanish market, like, but they don't see anybody doing anything that is even near the level of like infrastructure or system or processes, right? So if you replicate like a product gym business model over to business analysts, you know, uh, you basically, I would say, I wouldn't want to go as far as to say that you instantly print, but take a look at your competition. How much more competition do you have in the business analyst space or customer success space or QA space versus product management? You have way more, right? So when I went into cybersecurity and when I went into HVAC, the way that I look at it is I have a K-pop idol factory, right? Who is doing anything close to what it is that we are doing right now? Nobody. Okay. So the way that I think about it is I'm entering a brand new market, but I know I have a better system and I know I have better infrastructure. So just something like what we're doing right now is like sending out Loom video pitches and following up with like LinkedIn messages. And then I take a look at the amount of engagement that we're hosting right now, 3 to 4 times a week on a coaching call. I'm like, who the fuck is doing that in this space? Nobody's doing that in this space right now. Versus in product gym, I would say 80% of the time, and I'll be very honest, we will do something and then the product management market follows. Or 20% of the time, we're taking a look at what somebody else is doing, and then we're like, I think we can go ahead and improve that. Right. So, but there's no business analyst boot camp, there's no project management boot camp, there's no QA gym really, because nobody's trying to break into these roles anymore. But you still have a group of people that are stranded that actually need help. So if we went reverse route, you try to go into product management for 30 days, and I went into business analyst for 30 days, right? I
Mm-hmm.
probably promise you, like I'll probably out earn you for the first 30 days. We'll see what it's like a year later. But this is the biggest problem that I have overall with product managers or tech people in general that tell me they want to be their own business owner is
Mm-hmm.
they always come out to me and they say, but if you're a business owner, you have to have that I don't give a fuck attitude. Just do it. Just do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I've learned is basically this, whatever gets promoted gets sold. So if recorded, I recorded like, I recorded like 100 shorts for cybersecurity one night, rainy night in Philippines. And I just like the more I was recording it, the more ideas I was having like recording videos. And then I was just looking at it this way. They got to pass this fucking exam. And it's a standardized exam, just like any other standardized exam. Why didn't anybody put together some fucking digital flashcards? Um, and I was like, there's probably like what? Like there's a glossary of cybersecurity vocab, right? And I was like, all right, let's just put that all on digital flashcards. Everybody's got a fucking iPhone or a smartphone, right? And it's like the same 400 or 500 questions being reshuffled. It's a 90-minute exam with 90 questions into it. I popped everything in there and I was just like, I'll just call this thing a $37 offering. And we'll whip up a landing page. Had ChatGPT landing page, right? With no cybersecurity background, I was actually able to outsell my competition. You want to know why? Because my competition is looking at this from this lens. They're like, you have to study. I was like, no, you have to pass the exam before you can do anything else. And the fucking exam is a standardized test. You get 90 minutes to answer 90 fucking questions. Okay. 90 minutes to answer 90 fucking questions. And my guess is they're using the same fucking questions over and over again. Lo and behold, I hit up a Chinatown cybersecurity school. And they're like, yeah, it's fucking like 400 or 500 questions over and over and over again. And I was like, so why is everybody walking around with like a stack of like these three, like it's literally 3 inches worth of printouts? People walking around
Mm-hmm.
with a binder, right? Why isn't it on there? And I was like, I would just do it like this. And I recorded enough videos into it, and then people just started buying it. So
Mm.
whatever the mantra that I basically have is this: whatever gets promoted gets sold. You promote anything enough, it will get sold. You know? So
Mm.
if you have a fucking stall that's like kimchi fried rice, and you show up there 365 days, it will get sold. Ethnic food is notorious in proving this shit out, which is like, I'm gonna go out there and you never had fucking Korean barbecue tacos? Fuck it. Like I'm gonna fucking come out here every single day and whatever gets promoted gets sold.
Mm.
Um that's also the reason why like I tell people like you're going through this exercise as a funnel, which is you're launching something on the internet and then you're seeing how many times it's going to take you to do X number of activities for it to hit. Once you basically do it one time, then you can go ahead and do it like customer success, QA. You can basically just go and venture into any freaking role.
Right. You just start replicating the
Right,
formula,
right,
right?
right,
You just
right,
apply it anywhere.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, my
Okay.
my my ex-girlfriend's dad, hilariously enough, like that guy probably started and failed like 30 businesses, different businesses, right? Like that guy sold like everything from golf clubs to like North Face jackets in like New York. And he's just like, within 30 to 40 days, you'll figure it out. And yeah, the freaking guy was like such a legend. He just walked up to like other dry cleaners and was like, "How are you selling your shit?"
Mm-hmm.
And amazingly enough,
Got
people
it.
go out there and tell them. So
Got it. Got
the
it. Got it.
imposter syndrome, um, I guess also like another way of looking at it is that you're never ever not gonna feel imposter syndrome because like whatever funnel you crack at some point will not work. So you'll do something and it's just like, oh, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. And it's like that dude, I don't know if you know him. His name is like I think like Jay Waller. He's one of those like men's like podcast guys, and he's like keep working, keep working. He's like haven't made money yet, but I'm getting a little bit better. Keep working, keep working. I haven't made money yet. It's like boom, I just got paid. It's like overnight success. That's basically what it is that you learn. You'll figure out like some newsletter, you'll figure out some kind of funnel, and this is the life now. You'll figure out some kind of funnel and it'll work until it doesn't work. And then you're wondering why it doesn't work. And then you're gonna go out there and um you're gonna fucking draw some circles and some lines, do a little bit of whiteboarding, and you're gonna be wondering like, why is this not working anymore? It's not working anymore because it's not working. And then you're gonna figure out like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And then that shit starts working. And then at some point, it's gonna go out there and morph. You're gonna get way off course. And then you're gonna go back to this is why I document kind of like my daily journals. And you're gonna go back to like, all right, we had this fucking problem before. What did I do last year around this time? Okay, I did this. And he did that. It's like, oh shit, it worked again. That's kind of like now you are in employer mindset versus like employee mindset. Does that make sense? Yes, no.
Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't overthink it, but at the same time, like don't think that you're ever gonna not overthink it. It's got to be like the freaking gym. Like if if you're gonna go and say I'm gonna get this body, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together this workout plan and all that shit, and buy some new clothes, and like I'm gonna load up my fridge with like protein powder and all this, like is like I'm going all in hard. Those people, it's always bound to fail, like anything like that. It's like okay, well I don't know. Let's just say like you didn't know anything about the gym, right? like the probably the first best thing that you need to go ahead and do is just physically get your ass in there and say like, okay, I don't have a workout plan yet, but instead of waiting for tomorrow, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, maximum 8:30 today, I'm going in, and then after that, I'm gonna set a little bit of time to go out there and figure out the game plan. But there's execution time versus there's strategy time. Uh,
Mhm.
so right now, your thing is you're not being married to a funnel, you're just learning how to build a
Mm.
funnel. And
Okay, got
this
it.
is one of hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of funnels, you know. So
Got it. Okay, cool, cool. All right, yeah, thanks. I think I really just needed that kind of pep talk. Yeah, it's just about shifting your mindset to just putting yourself in the situation and then not worrying about all the all the steps, but more so just executing and then figuring it out on the way as opposed to trying to figure out the whole plan like from like figuring out steps 1 through 10 and just put yourself in step 1 or step 0 first and then worry about each step as you get there.
there's always going to be this like overarching feeling that this is just not going to work. But once you snap out of that reality, you're going to find out that life is fucking amazing. Because, like, when I took my first, like, 5Gs from cybersecurity, I was like, holy shit. Um, because like you've proven it out, right? So this is why um thinking about the level of the game that you're trying to play right now, like 10, 20 levels ahead. This is just why Gary V is such a boss. I mean, the guy started selling wine at like 35. He was still like selling wine from a liquor store in New York. Right now, he's this gangster of an investor, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You know, like,
yeah.
but like, you know, um, when you've gone into combat so many times, like it doesn't really matter where they send your ass anymore.
Yeah, I get the picture. I get the picture. Um, cool, cool. All right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, keep just kind of keep trucking and just I guess in my mindset just kind of like not think too much and then just, be consistent and just keep posting, keep promoting. What you said about, whatever gets promoted gets sold, that really kind of resonated. So that really, I think that really
Yeah.
sank in. So I'm just going to keep posting and then see what works and see what doesn't work. It's just pretty much trial and error. Kind of like input, output, test what's, I guess that kind of like to summarize what everything you said is just, it's just testing what works and we'll test what doesn't work, right? Just keep testing, keep testing. That's kind of like that business mentality where you're the employer, not the employee, where the employee just kind of takes, um, instructions, whereas the employer is he or she or they is kind of like testing, um, the instructions, right? It's like, okay, well, one resource says to do this, so I'm going to test it. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to, see what the other resource says and just kind of keep going through it until something does work. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I guess I'll keep. Yeah. So to kind of wrap this up, what I don't know if you, yeah, whenever you get the chance, I sent over those 4 videos of kind of like me going through your step by step guide on how to make $3,000 in 30 days, as a career coach on WAP.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not too sure. I don't know if you're able to. You said that you had like a business analyst funnel. Yeah, maybe we can kind of like work together on that and see like how we can funnel those resources that you've like curated and then kind of like funnel that through what I've set up on my WAP and then hopefully start forming that community and then I'll start recording all that and then just start promoting to through that business analyst funnel.
Yeah. I think like something that kind of helped me out like 8 years ago when I was like the imposter syndrome, or like I could say like the doubt is um you know when I was trying to figure out how to make the transition from like being a tech recruiter to like, owning my own boot camp, um, is like um everybody in the boot camp space had had prior work experience in that niche. So every product management boot camp pretty much were founded by obviously former product managers or div product managers, right? And what I realized was like I was like, shit, I was the only person that came out from a recruiting background. And if you're taking a look at the situation right now, you most people are thinking like, well, you got Product Gym and like, 20,000 some like followers, and then you got like, a whole freaking team and shit. And I was like, no, at that time, it was like a bunch of Indian PMs that were literally like, that fucking Chinese guy's never been a product manager. Okay. That asshole's coming in here trying to score some fucking quick cash. And I'm like, all right. But what I noticed was there was a huge opening in the market. And a lot of these people, they only really knew how to work with they only really knew how to work with software engineers that wanted to be product managers because there were so many investment bankers and management consultants in New York that had this insane work ethic that was like, I want to be a product manager, and they're like, it's impossible. And one of the biggest Wall Street publications is called Wall Street Oasis. So Wall Street Oasis is they basically help college students get their first finance job. And um, even if like you didn't have like, let's just say like an economics degree or a finance degree or like a business degree, right? And you may have been like a little bit late to the internship funnel because most of the people that do it right, their parents are in it, or they have like brothers or sisters that are in it, and they get like, 3 summer internships at JP Morgan, and they studied finance, and they know they're going into finance, right? But there's like a huge group of people that like at the time there's the lore, and even they had this huge blog that was just kind of like their own internal Reddit. And somebody asked, like, is it impossible for somebody from finance to break into product management? At that time, it was like fucking, this idea was fucking impossible until I made it possible. And I'm like, all right, so let's go out there and let's just break down this thing as in terms of a funnel. If you applied to 100 jobs out there, like, how many interviews do you guys think you guys are going to get? The first reaction I got was there's not 100 openings, right, in New York. And I'm like, yeah, there fucking is. But if I made you right now apply, I was like, there's 11,000 openings right now. So when I actually like forced them to actually go out there and apply to build their own funnel, they started booking like 15, 20 interviews like a week. Obviously, people can argue now, oh, that was a different market. It's like, no, because when I first got in there, people were just averaging at any given time, people are averaging only about 3 to 5 interviews a month because they're very selective in applying. So 2018, people were averaging about 3 to 5 interviews like a month. 2025, people are averaging about 3 to 5 interviews like a month. And it just comes down to, are you willing to just go out there and just put the hammer to the nail and just fucking go to work? I was like, okay, so let's break it down into a funnel. The first thing that we need are round ones. So don't think about the technical interview. Don't think about like the case study presentation. Don't think about the freaking on-site and what you're going to tell your boss. Our first priority right now is to get to round one, right? Let's go out there and build out your round one pipeline. And we got to do this as a business every single month. Is like, okay, we have 50 enrollments that we have to hit, right? How are we going to go out there and fill up each and every one of these seats? Well, it starts off at the very top. Like, there's no more direct funnel than like applying to interviewing. So, how many applications do we need for a round one? How many app round ones do we need for a round two? And then down, down, down the funnel that you go. And when your biggest challenge in front of your face is round one, you should just focus entirely on round one. When the biggest challenge is in front of your face is round two, you should just focus on round two. And that's when I really embodied, like, there was a guy that told me this. He's like, whatever gets promoted gets sold. And this is what I do all day to just like as a revenue consultant right now for other businesses. People were networking. I was like, are any like tell me what you're doing in the last 7 days, line it up hour by hour. What did those activities actually have to do with getting a fucking interview? Right? Like nothing. You know? So if you just have it like that mindset, I think you're just gonna go out there and win. But I feel like there's even more
Cool.
money to be made in like business analysts and product. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Well,
Sounds good. Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and apply that mindset and stop really thinking in that like kind of employee mindset. It's just kind of hard since like, we've been kind of herded into that, that social way of thinking. But no, I think you made really good valid points. Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I think it's been like 20 minutes here. I don't want to um yeah, I think that was abundant of information. So let's go ahead and kind of like close this out. But yeah, no, thank you so much, Rich. I think that really helps. I'm just
well,
gonna, yeah, kind of
okay.
just gonna stay consistent, and then again, summarizing what we said, it's just staying consistent. Don't think in the mindset of like, oh, well, I think I'm better at doing this than this. It's just kind of be open minded and trying like all the different possibilities without limiting yourself in one, like don't pigeonhole yourself in one like like I guess what you can call like a tunnel vision of like, oh, okay, well, I only know how to do this, so I should only focus on this, right? Where pretty much what I was saying before, oh, I'm specializing in product management, so wouldn't it be better for me to just talk to product management because it's easier and it's, but like you said, it's so saturated, it's so like a dog eat dog kind of environment, whereas the business analyst pool is like what you call like a blue ocean, right? Like, it's still there's still abundance there. People are, still need help. So why not dip into that pool as opposed to a pool that's already filled with sharks, right? So yeah, I think it's just like overcoming the fear of like, oh, let's just try something new, and if it doesn't work, at least we tried, and we know that option didn't work. Let's go to option two. Let's go to option three and option four, and try all those. As opposed to sitting here thinking, well, or as opposed to sitting here overthinking it and then not even trying it, right? So I think that's kind of like, I think I summarized that pretty well, and in that sense, kind of like what you were kind of telling your stories around. So yeah, I
You know,
appreciate that, Rich. I think that really gave a really solid insight and
it'll
really
work.
know how to like tackle that mindset there.
It'll work. It'll work.
Cool, cool.
All right.
All right.